Hi, I'm Tinny from minibulldesign, and today we're back out in the factory, and I'm going to try baking again the same way I did in the last video, well, the video before last, in the last baking video, and I'm going to try the new ideas. Now, somebody asked about using a silicone wristband instead of the silicone tube. So that's one thing we're going to try. We'll put that right in the bottom of the 12 centimeter. And I think that's a really good idea. I think that'll work great. Okay, now I'm going to try to do this time. And I'm going to try not to ruin the bag. And I'm going to try to mix it up right in the bag. So, I'm going to be careful when I tear this top off because last time there we go. Okay, right in the bag is the theory here. We'll see how that works out. It doesn't take a lot of water to hydrate this stuff. And I'm going to make it a little bit sloppier than I did last time, because last time I thought it was a little bit too thick. And the cake wasn't as moist as it's supposed to be. I didn't think. This is probably the worst part of the whole thing, is trying to mix this stuff up. But you've got a little time on your hands, and obviously you wouldn't be baking unless you did have a fair amount of time on your hands. This is one of these things you do when you have a lot of time. Maybe on a rainy day when you've decided not to hike and take a day off and you're in the shelter. This would be one of those things that you might want to do, in my humble opinion. Of course, it's stuck to the spoon, so I gotta... There we go. And I think I'm even going to add just a tad more water. There we go. Yeah, that feels better. Try to get down in the corners. If I can find any problem with this method, you might get some trapped down in the corners. Okay. Okay, I saved out a little bit of the mix back here. And I'm going to put some oil in this 10 centimeter musil pot with the handle removed. And I'm going to oil it right up in good shape. Good dose of oil in it. Don't want any pooling in the bottom, but I want it well oiled. Especially right in the bottom. Okay. Now. Got flour on my pants. I look like a real chef here. Okay. There we go. You can see. Try to look in the viewfinder and show this to you. There. Okay. Now, put the lid back on my water. I'm going to pour the mix right in there. It's going to be a little bit easier this time because I made it a little bit thinner. Yeah, that's pretty good right there. Throw this bag away. Okay. Now, take the camera and take a look at this. There we go. Yeah. And I've got my silicone wristband in the bottom. I'm going to set this right in there. Get a space all the way around it. I think that wristband is probably going to work just fine. I don't know why it wouldn't. Okay, now we'll set up the stove, and I'm only going to cook this for I'm going to do a toothpick test on it at 18 minutes to see if it's done, because last time I grossly overcooked it. And I'm not used to an oven this efficient, so it usually does take up to a half an hour, but this setup is quite a bit more efficient than anything I've done in the past. Let's get this fueled up. Now, people were asking why I didn't leave the other tube off and just make it so if I wanted to use a donut, I could overflow the center and flood the outside. And my thought train on that was, if you did that, and was, say, boiling water, when you get your water all boiled, let me get this on here, and get my stopwatch started. And put my windscreen around, then I can talk all I want to. There we go. See that? Yeah, yeah. That pretty? That's nice. That's a good controlled setup. I like that. Okay, now let me sit back here and talk for a minute. Now my thought train on doing it that way, where you just have one tube, and if you want the donut to burn, is just to overflow it out and let it go out in the donut. Safe for boiling water. When the water's boiled and the donut obviously is still burning, you've not only got the leftover alcohol in the donut, you've got that whole centerpiece is completely soaked in alcohol. It has to be to have enough to get to the outside. So it's really kind of wasteful doing that way. Yeah, I don't think it would be a lot of alcohol, but I felt it would be much more efficient to only flood the outside donut and have the center completely dry. I thought it'd be more efficient that way. Now this one has 2 donuts in it, so you flood it once and it's just about right for boiling water, say 8 minutes, and the center you don't waste any. But as this design develops, and I've already got some other ideas to completely change it, as it develops we will come up with a final design. That's the reason why we call it a prototype. Okay, I think we're all set here for probably the next 15 minutes or so. So I'm going to turn the camera off, and when we get to 15 minutes I'll snap her back on, and we'll take my 1mm Allen wrench and do a check to see if it's done yet. Okay, it's been 18 minutes. My guess is this isn't even close to done yet. It doesn't smell it. Yeah, see, it's still rising, so it's definitely going to be more than 18 minutes. Probably one of the reasons for that is I trimmed the wick back on the stove quite a bit, and that really cut back on the heat. I may have trimmed it too much, but we'll check it again in 23 minutes, because it looks like it's got a long ways to go. Okay, 23 minutes, and let's see what we've got there now. Okay, we're fully risen, and the top is starting to crack. The edges are just starting to get a little brown, but I'm going to go another 5 minutes, because I think it's going to take that long for it to brown the top. Much more controlled this time. I think we're going to get a better product. But I think the total cook time is going to be close to a half an hour. Although I could add a little more heat to the stove and probably shorten that up, but we'll see what we get this time, and then we'll make a decision on it. Okay, for the last 4 or 5 minutes, I've flooded right out into the donut wick to give it some really hot heat. Just the last 4 minutes, I'm thinking that that'll help brown it up fairly quick and crisp it, and cut down on the time. I'm just going to do this for a short period of time. If you did it very long, you'd burn it. But this is just to brown the top. Hey, it's a learning experience, man. Okay, it's been just 30 minutes, and I probably should have put a little more heat on it at the beginning. Would have shortened up the bake time. But 30 minutes, second try. Let's take the top off and see if it's done. That's definitely done. And yep, comes out clean. So we'll let that cool down just a little while, and then I will put on a pair of gloves and we'll take it out. Okay, it's been a little while, so let's yeah, I think well, I gotta tell you, this time it's not as dark as it was last time, and I can tell just by the way it feels that it's a lot moister. You can see that the bottom, let me get a good picture of the bottom in close here, sort of from a distance. You can see the bottom is not burnt, it's just dark brown the way it should be. The sides have a little bit of the flour that's left over in them, and the top is good. And to give you some idea of size of this, I'll put my hand here. You can see this is, somebody was talking about using a cupcake paper. This is quite a bit larger than a cupcake. You can see that's quite a bit. That was an entire package. Okay, let me set the camera up and we'll cut into it and see what it looks like. Try to zoom in here. There we go. Okay. There you can see. Yep, we nailed it that time. I'm happier with it this time than I was last. Looks to me to be pretty much perfect. If I was out in a shelter on a cold, rainy day, I would be very, very happy with that results. And it really wasn't that hard to do. And I think using the lower heat, looking at the end product, yep, I think that's the way to go. 30 minutes at a little bit lower heat. So, I guess we better taste it. It's good. It's a good setup. I'm Tinny from minibulldesign. Get out and hike, take a friend, enjoy the great outdoors, and more important than anything, try to have a really great day and try to have some fun using your alcohol stove. Bye-bye. minibulldesign.com. Simply the best. Bye-bye. Captain's Log Supplemental. Forgot to check on the wristband. Sorry guys. Wristband didn't cut it. It got all white and sticky and started oozing out stuff, and it's all sticky, and the bottom half you can see melted right off of it. No, I think if anything, this one went through the same, probably even more heat, didn't bother it a bit. So I'm thinking that I'll probably sell these in the store. I think that's the best way to go. Those and the 10 centimeter pots with the handles taken off. That'd be a good thing for me to build a few today and put in the store. And I think everything else is in the store to bake. Any of the M stoves will bake just fine. I think an M2, M3, M6, any of them I think would bake just fine. It takes a fair amount of heat, and if they wear their wick stove and they're controllable, I think you'd be all set.